The Baja area of the Sonoran Desert supports a wide range of wildlife that contradicts the common understanding of the word desert. The sliver of land, while surrounded by large bodies of water, still suffers from one of the hardships of a desert, such as water insecurity and high temperatures. Part of the charm of this area, in addition to its beautiful landscape, is its large influence by culture and its long, interesting history that has more influence in the world than we think. While the definition of desert includes the words abandoned and empty, the Sonoran Desert is anything but abandoned and empty. Every year, thousands of adventure seekers from around the globe travel past Coco's Corner, making it one of the most frequented roadside stops on the entire peninsula. Tourists describe it as a haphazard assemblage of broken trucks and appliances, but despite the initial impressions, tourists find a feeling of connection with nature, being in the middle of nowhere, and connection to humanity. This interesting spot is being encroached upon by highway interstate construction, and soon may disappear if such construction brings the pollution of noise and cities to this quiet desert town. Places like Coco's Corner eventually disappear when enough traffic makes its way into the area. While many people want to visit and experience the silence of nature, ultimately the more people visit, the less the area is an oasis and becomes polluted with noise. Once the highway reaches Coco's Corner, they will no longer be the oasis away from society and become another trash-ridden, side-of-the-road abandoned area. Just like the definition of desert. Amongst the things in this non-empty desert are hundreds of mineral deposits. The most popular mining prospects in Baja California are gold, tungsten, and copper. There have been over 160 mining sites discovered, with 4 prospected mining sites reported. One of these mines lies near San Antonio, Baja. This mine is projected to be an open pit mine with expectations to mine 11,000 to 15,000 tons per day. Part of the mine proposals is that it will create its own water and reduce its need to use water from nearby aquifers. While there have been large controversy towards opening new mines, companies who plan on opening these mines are looking into eco-friendly alternatives to some of the issues of mining and also promising to create healthy public communities for its workers, going as far as to building sports teams. Mines take an incredible amount of resources to function, and while Baja California may be a literal gold mine, government has made many efforts to preserve the natural state of the area.
The Gulf of California, also known as the Sea of Cortez, is a unique place due to its biodiversity. The area has a total of 244 islands and coastal areas that have an extraordinary diversity of marine animals and land creatures. A place associated with the abundance in marine life is Cabo Pulmo National Park. This national park is located at the east coast of Baja California, approximately 60 miles away from Los Cabos, and it is considered to be one of the most complex and diverse areas in the Gulf of California. One of the most common species in this area is the big-eyed jack trevallius, which is a species of fish that can easily be found offshore. The reef also attracts a large number of migratory species such as whale sharks, marine turtles, giant mantas, and humpback whales. Sharks are also really common in this area, and the most common one is the bull shark, which can normally be seen during the summertime. Even though Cabo Pulmo now has a diverse wildlife, it wasn't always like this. A few decades ago, the overfishing of many marine organisms threatened Cabo Pulmo and affected its ecosystem. Thousands of species were put into danger due to the irresponsible tourism, and it was not until 1995 that the park was declared a natural protected area by the Mexican law. Shortly after, the number of marine species in the area significantly increased. Nowadays, the recovery of the Cabo Pulmo is considered a success story, not only because of the participation of the legal protections, but also due to the collaboration of the community. In order to support the protection of the park's ecosystem, many people stopped their fishing activities and instead promoted tourist activities such as scuba diving and shark and whale watching. The Gulf of California has many places with incredible geological structures. An example of this is the Bahia de Los Angeles. This coastal bay is located alongside the Sea of Cortez and has a total of 16 islands, all of which vary in size from less than 0.1 miles to more than 3.1 miles. The bay was formed approximately 10 million years ago by volcanic upheavals that caused the sea levels to rise and the peaks of mountains to become isolated. The bay has both a metamorphic basement and a granite basement. The metamorphic basement of the bay is composed of mafic, skeets, and Paleozoic metapletes, while the granite basement is made of pyroclastic rocks and in part of volcanoclastic rocks, mainly of the Sierra Las Animas. The bay's modern look was achieved approximately 10,000 years ago. However, some of the thousands of miles of coast and coastal cliffs have not been altered or changed at all, and still remain the same as they were hundreds of years ago.
One of the most pivotal moments in the history of the Baja region would be when the Europeans first arrived in the New World. After the conquest of Mexico by Hernán Cortés in 1519, Cortés took notice of the western peninsula, and many Spanish explorers spent years mapping the area. It wasn't until the late 1600s that the Spanish king ordered the colonization of the Baja region. Though many attempts were made, there was little to no success due to the harsh living conditions and the hostility between the natives. It wasn't until 1697 when the first Jesuit missionaries arrived with the intent of converting the so-called savages. By late 1697, Father Juan María de Salvatierra established a permanent mission in Baja California Sur, naming it Nuestra Señora de Loreto Concho, the first of many to come. This moment marked the start of a new era, as the new arrivals would forever change the lifestyle of the natives and would even drive many of the tribes to extinction, with forced relocation and new diseases introduced from the old world, killing several unique languages and cultures as a consequence. While the Baja region is just a strip of land, it still contains a large amount of the Sonoran Desert and plays a large role in its history and natural diversity. Each point of interest we have talked about has their own stories and individual aspects to them, but if dug deep enough, we can see how all of them are interconnected. The resources in this land, such as copper and silver, attracted the attention of faraway people to these lands and created many of the towns that exist today, such as San Antonio and El Triunfo. Yet even with such an abundance of resources, the life of the people in the Baja region has been anything but easy, having to deal with the scorching desert and limitations in agriculture. And still, there are many examples in its history of people pulling through and even thriving in such an environment, such as the city of Ciudad Constitucion. And humans weren't the only ones to face hardship, as much of the animal and plant life in the region also suffered, whether it was plant life suffering from agriculture and invading species, or wildlife being overhunted, such as the bighorn sheep. Nowadays, people have started taking action and created many reserves, such as El Vizcaino Biosphere Reserve and the protected Isla del Espíritu Santo, where these ecosystems are being preserved. As you can see, the Baja region of the Sonoran Desert has a lot more going on than many give it credit for. From its geological formations that affect the towns and the agriculture, to the abundant biodiversity of the region. From the diverse and rich culture of the people to the tragic history that started it all. The Baja region is truly a unique piece of the Sonoran Desert.